This is the third lecture with vector analysis. In the last lecture I told you how to find components or how to resolve a vector. Okay, so quickly, if you have been given a vector A and if you have to find its component, then what you have to do, at the tail of the vector you draw an x-axis and on y-axis. Then from the top of the vector you draw perpendicular. This is its x component ax and this is y component ay. Now second important point, components are always positive. Okay, so this ax is always positive, ay is positive, and these are scalar. This is not vector. So if I have to make it this component into vector, then I have to multiply with a unit vector I cap. So unit vector along x is I cap and unit vector along y is j cap. So you can imagine one vector ax acting in this direction, ax, and that vector ax vector will be ax times I cap, and you can imagine one ay vector to be acting in this direction, ay vector, and that ay vector is equal to ay j cap. Now you might get confused here, but if you can recall, unit vector is defined as vector divided by its magnitude. Okay, if you guys can recall, then unit vector, okay, we define a cap equal to a vector by a, means unit vector is a vector divided by its magnitude. So if you see, I cap is vector divided by its magnitude and j cap is also same. Now using triangle law, you can write it. This is your ax vector, this is your ay vector, ax, ay. So they represent adjacent side of a triangle. So a vector can be written as, using triangle law, like this or like this, j cap. Now one more point I told you, if you know this angle, let us say alpha, then the component ax is nothing but vector times the this vector times cos of this angle. So ax is a cos alpha, right? And same way, if this angle is beta, then its component will be length times the cos of the angle, ay will be a cos beta. Now depending on the situation, we can, so this can be again represented like this. Now again, if you see this, then it means that this vector A in two dimension has two parts. Okay, one is x part and y part, and that we talk about components. Now in the last lecture I also drew one inclined plane, then I left. Okay, let me give you information about it. So inclined plane, actually it's one kind of machine and it is a force multiplier actually. So if you lift something from here to here vertically, and if you slide it from here to here, you have to do less, you have to apply less effort while moving here, okay, because of the slope. Now whatever, now suppose one weight is here, one mass is here, this is earth. Now if I ask you that why it's not falling, okay, let us say this is at rest, then you have to talk about forces, right? Now let us just resolve one forces one by one. So I am going to take this to be my x-axis, this to be my y-axis. So parallel to the plane is x and perpendicular to the incline is y. Now we all know, if this is earth, weight acts perpendicular to the earth. Okay, so this is your mg, mass into gravity, it acts perpendicular to the earth. Now if I have to find weight component, okay, weight in general you guys all know that it acts downward, it is mg, and it is perpendicular to the earth, so this is also mg perpendicular to the earth. Now if I have to find its component, let us go by the rule. At the tail of the vector we'll draw x-axis and y-axis. Now this is my minus y-axis and this is my minus x-axis, right? Now if I draw perpendicular from here, this will be mg component along minus y. If I drop a perpendicular from here, this is the component of mg along x. Okay, so let me write, this side is mg subscript x, sorry, minus y, acting like this, and mg subscript minus x. Okay, this minus x and minus y is just direction. Okay, now you will find out that this angle, by simple geometry you can find out this angle is theta. Okay, so let me quickly tell you why. So if this is your incline, fine, this is my mg, then if I draw a parallel line parallel to this ground, if this angle is theta, this has to be theta, right? Now if this is theta, then this will be 90 minus theta, and this line, okay, so this is theta, this and this are perpendicular to each other, right? Okay, let me do it again. Let us say we draw a parallel line, so this is theta, this is theta, right? mg is perpendicular to this, so mg is this, and this minus y is this. This is minus y. Now you can see this line and this line are perpendicular, so this is 90 minus theta. Okay, why? Because this and this is perpendicular. Now see, this line I have drawn it big, minus x, and these are also perpendicular, so this is minus x, this is minus y, so 90 minus theta, this must be theta. Okay, so this angle is theta. Now once you know the angle, then it's very simple. So if I resolve this, let me draw the diagram again separately. This is my mg, this is my minus y axis, this is minus x axis. If I drop a perpendicular, this is your y minus y component. If I draw a perpendicular, this is my minus x component. Now this angle is theta, so what will be component of mg along y? So vector length, which is mg times the cos of the angle, so this component will be mg cos theta. And what is this angle? 90 minus theta, right? So again mg, vector times the angle which it makes with the axis, this is 90 minus theta, so this will be mg cos 90 minus theta, and this will be mg sin theta. So it turns out that weight acting like this can be resolved into two components, one is cos and one is sin. So the same diagram, I can draw it like this side mg cos theta is acting, and this side is mg sin theta is acting. So weight has two components. Now you all can ask why it's not falling down, right? Now, or suppose it's stationary, then you know that friction opposes the motion, right? So friction is acting in this direction, and contact force, since it is in contact with the surface, contact force acts perpendicular to the contact surface. This is contact surface, so this is contact force. So if this not falling down, because friction is balanced by mg sin theta and contact force from the surface is balanced by mg cos theta. If there is no friction, let us say we have frictionless surface, then what will happen? This will go down. Okay, this will slide down. Now, why it is easier to lift on a wedge? The reason being, mg, when you lift anything on the ramp, you have to just take care of mg sin theta, okay, which is less than mg. Fine, whatever mg is resolved into this two component. Now, sometimes we talk about position vector also. One more example let me take. Suppose you kick a football and it goes something like this. This is called projectile motion. Now let us learn qualitatively about it. So you kick the football from here. I am drawing this my x-axis and this is my y-axis. And this is the angle theta at which you hit. Now you can see, let us say the ball goes, sometime it was here, sometime it was here. Now you can see this is two-dimensional motion, so as the ball moves with respect to time, its x and y coordinate changes, right? Now, so here when the ball is here, let us say this is x1 and this coordinate is y1, and when the ball is here, let us say coordinate is x1 y1 here, and here it's x2 y2. Now if the ball is here and if I draw a vector from the origin, let us say like this is called position vector of the ball, okay, and this will be the second position vector of the ball. So what is r1 and r2? Here r1 is called position of the vector, position vector here, and r2 is a position vector here. R generally is used as a position vector. Right? Now you all can see this r1 has this much x component and this much y component, and if I introduce I cap and j cap, you all can see r1 can be written as x1 I cap plus y1 j cap. R2 can be written as x2 I cap plus y2 j cap. Fine. So R1 is nothing but this much vector plus this much vector using triangle law. Fine. X1 I cap, y1 j cap, and same way this. Now the difference of them, which is called delta r, this is called displacement vector, which is r2 minus r1. This is called displacement vector. Fine. Now while subtracting or adding vectors, you have to subtract or add the corresponding components. Okay, so r2 minus r1, I will subtract I components, so answer will be x2 minus this plus y2 minus y1. This is the displacement vector. Fine. So as the football moves in the space, its position vector keeps on changing. Okay, its direction keeps on changing. Right. Now let us talk about addition of vector through components. So let us say we have a vector A and there is a vector B, and angle between their tail is theta. So theta is the angle between the vector. Theta is angle between A and B. How you add them? You can't add them directly like this because they don't represent adjacent side of a triangle taken in a order. One is going like this, one is going like this. So what we can do, we can draw a parallel vector. Let us say this is B vector and A vector. Now, so the resultant is this R. Right. Now these two represent adjacent side of a triangle, so resultant is drawn from the tail of the first to the head of the last. Let us say this, using triangle law, we all can write R vector is equal to A plus B. But this does not, R vector sense is this, we are going to prove that the magnitude of R, means the number R, will be given by A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Okay, this is the magnitude of R, and also we will prove that tan alpha, I will mention what is this, is B sin theta by A plus B cos theta. Okay, so we are going to do this. What is this? Now let me just, if I want to take care of this with the components, this is my let us say resultant ka tail, so I will draw here x vector and this is y vector. Right. Now if I ask you what is the x component of A, okay, here alpha is the angle which R makes with x axis. Okay, so alpha is the angle with x axis of R vector. R vector is called resultant vector. Fine. Now let us solve it through components. Now if you see the same thing, let me do it like this without getting complicated. This is my x axis, this is my y axis. First I ask you what is x component of A. So x component of A, you all can see A is in this direction, it is making angle 0, so AX will be A cos 0. So this is nothing but A. What is y component of A? What angle A is making with y? 90. Fine. So A is making 90 degree with y, so AY will be A cos 90, which is 0. Fine. Now what is x component of B? So if you see, B is acting like this, right? B has angle theta with x. Let me just remove A now. So B ka x component you drop, this is x component of B, this is y component of B. Okay, this is x. So B is making angle theta, so Bx component is B cos theta, and By component, it is making 90 minus theta with this. So B cos 90 minus theta, cos 90 minus theta is sin theta, so B sin theta. So A and B has this components. Fine. Now so how we find resultant in the, okay, right now we are doing for two vectors, we can generalize it. Resultant R is nothing but x component square plus y component square. Okay, let me write total x component square and total y component square. So if you have two vectors A and B, their resultant magnitude is calculated using this. So if I go by this method, x component total x component is how much? Ax plus bx is my total x component, and how much is this? A plus b cos theta. And how much is y component? Ay plus by. Ay is 0, by is b. Now so resultant will be A plus b cos theta whole square plus b sin theta square, if you open this, then we'll get a plus b whole square, so a square plus b square cos square theta plus 2ab cos theta, and this will only give you b square sin square theta. Now if you rearrange this, then this you can see b square is common, so I can write this the same relation r to be a square, b square common is two parts, so one is cos square theta plus sin square theta plus 2ab cos theta. Now using trigonometric identity, you guys know that this is equal to 1, so resultant is a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. Now this is the magnitude of the resultant. Fine. Now what is the direction of the resultant? So direction of resultant, so in our case this was a, this was b, this was r, right? And this angle was alpha. This is x, this is y. It turns out that tan alpha means this r, this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis, this is r, this total x component is a plus b cos theta, and total y component is b sin theta, and this is angle alpha, right? So this tan alpha, if you find, tan alpha is nothing but perpendicular by base, so tan alpha will be in this triangle will be b sin theta by a plus b cos theta. Now three things quickly, that if you add vector a and b having angle theta, then their magnitude is given by this. Okay, magnitude is given by this, and the direction of the resultant, okay, at which direction it acts, is given by alpha, right? And that tan alpha is given by this. Now the short form of this will be total y component, and this is total x component, right? So three things, r equal to a plus b, that is one thing, triangle law, r a plus b, and magnitude, if you have to obtain the number you have to use this formula, and the direction at which x is given by this, fine. Now this is one thing, how we subtract this two vector. So I had a vector a and vector b acting at an angle theta. Now suppose I told you to find a minus b. How you will do it? So minus b will be nothing but, I will draw a vector of same length in opposite direction. Let us say this is minus b. Fine. Now this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis. Now what is the angle between a and minus b? So this a and minus b, actually you try to understand it like this, a plus minus b. Okay, so if I add a with a, if I add minus b, so how and which way it will point? So if you see, angle between a and b is theta, angle between a and minus b, this angle must be 180 minus theta. So angle between a and minus b, 180 minus theta, is the angle between a and minus b. Now how we add them? We can't add because they don't represent adjacent side of a triangle. So I will draw a vector B here. I will draw a vector A here. So you can see this is minus B, and the resultant will be in this direction. I am writing it to be R1, and this R1 is nothing but A minus B. Right. Now let us say it is acting at an angle beta. Okay, this is beta. Now what is the magnitude of this? A plus B ka magnitude we found out. What will be the magnitude of A minus B? Now in case of A plus B, if you remember, resultant was A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta, where theta is the angle between them. Now the angle between them is 180 minus theta, right, between A and B. So this resultant, I am writing it R1 for this, will be A square plus B square plus 2AB cos 180 minus theta. Now you will learn this cos 180 minus theta is nothing but minus cos theta. Right. Now this will make this R1 to be A square plus B square minus 2AB cos theta. This is the resultant magnitude in subtraction. And if you talk about this beta, since tan alpha was B sin theta by A plus B cos theta, going by the same way, theta should be replaced by 180 minus theta. Tan beta will be B sin 180 minus theta by A plus B cos 180 minus theta. Now cos 180 minus theta is minus cos theta. This we talked. Sin 180 minus theta is nothing but sin theta. Okay, this is equal to sin theta. So tan beta you will get to be B sin theta and A minus B cos theta. Right. Now if you see two vectors, if you add two vectors, and I am just talking about resultant, you can talk about when the resultant is maximum. So R is A square plus B square plus 2AB. So suppose you have two vectors, when this resultant will be maximum. If you know AB, it will be maximum only when theta is 0 and then R is maximum, and that will be equal to, okay, you can find it out, or we'll do in the next class. Theta equal to 180 degree, R will be minimum. Okay. Now in the next lecture I will talk about how to solve problem in vector analysis.